Hi, and welcome to this latest immigration law update video. In this video, I'm going to talk about a new BBC News item. It's an article on the website, and there's going to be a Newsnight report tonight, although I haven't watched that yet. I'm recording it before the Newsnight report on the ETS TOEIC scandal. And you'll see I've shared my screen that the article is entitled "The English Test That Ruined Thousands of Lives." And the article starts by saying a BBC investigation has raised fresh doubts about the evidence used to throw thousands of people out of the UK for allegedly cheating in an English language test. And whistleblower testimony and official documents obtained by Newsnight revealed the Home Office has continued to try and remove people based on the claims of the International Testing Organization, ETS, despite knowing of serious concerns about its conduct and flaws in its data. And it seems to me there are sort of two main things raised by this article: fresh concerns about ETS, which sort of questions it as a witness, and secondly, an explanation about its data in terms of how innocent people could have got caught up in an ETS allegation. Just some background. I'm sure everybody watching this video knows about the ETS TOEIC scandal, but the leading court of appeal case is from 2017. It's the case of Ahsan, and I've put it on the screen. It's Ahsan and the Secretary of State for the Home Department, 2017, EWCA Civ 2009. And you'll see there the judgment from Lord Justice Underhill. And he, in paragraph 1, summarizes the background to the ETS scandal. He says the immigration rules require applicants for leave to remain in some circumstances to pass a test of proficiency in written and spoken English. The principal form of approved test is the test for English for International Communication, TOEIC, provided by a US business called Educational Testing Service, ETS. ETS's TOEIC tests have been available at a large number of test centres in Britain. The spoken English part of the test involves the candidate being recorded reading a text, with the recording then being sent to an ETS assessor for marking. In February 2014, the BBC Panorama programme revealed that there was widespread cheating at a number of centres, in particular, though not only, by the use of proxies to take the spoken English part of the test. In response to the scandal, ETS, at the request of the Home Office, employed voice recognition software to go back over the recordings at the centres in question and try to identify cases in which it appeared that the same person had spoken in multiple tests and could thus be assumed to be a professional proxy. In reliance on ETS's findings, the Secretary of State in 2014 and 2015 made decisions in over 40,000 cases, cancelling or refusing leave to remain for persons who were said to have obtained leave on the basis of cheating in the TOEIC test. So that's the background. Obviously, you can look more at Ahsan if you want to know some of the legal tests involved and the approach of the courts in TOEIC allegations. But let's look at this latest news report from the BBC. So again, there's some background to those who've been removed from the UK and the BBC Panorama programme that sparked it all. And it said ETS gave them, that's the Home Office, a massive list of alleged cheats. But despite proof that this included some innocent people who'd been wrongly accused, the Home Office continues to stand by ETS's evidence. And I think this is the big concern of those innocent people who are swept up in the allegations. Labour MP Stephen Timms, who's cited throughout this article, says this: clearly ETS was a discredited witness, and yet the Home Office relied upon them on them totally. So Newsnight has uncovered further evidence, much as which has been known to the Home Office for several years, which raises additional questions about ETS and its trustworthiness. So these are the revelations in the 4 bullet points by the BBC. Past and present ETS staff told the Home Office they'd found significant evidence of organised cheating almost 2 years before it was exposed by Panorama. They told the Home Office investigators their efforts to close some fraudulent test centres were blocked by managers who were worried test fee income would fall. From these accounts, the Home Office learned that it had been kept in the dark about the fraud. And then the 4th bullet point, investigators were also given eyewitness testimony that some tests were faked with a method known as remote testing, which lawyers believe undermines ETS's evidence. So it's this remote testing that would have resulted, it looks like from this article, in some innocent people getting caught up. There's some quotes throughout by the chair of the Public Accounts Committee, the Labour MP Meg Hillier. So she's suggesting they should drop outstanding legal action against alleged ETS cheats and suggest they should be able to sit at fresh English tests. The journalist then records the personal accounts of some individuals who've had ETS issues and allegations made against them, which I'm not going to go through now. And then ETS flagging those that it classified as invalid, but also those they thought were questionable. That ETS might designate a test as questionable if it was taken at a test center with many invalid results. So this led to this startling figures effectively from ETS. 97% of 58,000 TOEICs tested taken in Britain between 2011 and 2014 were judged suspicious. So 97% of 58,000, 33,663 invalid, 22,476 questionable. And if that had been accurate, it would have represented the largest exam cheating scandal in British history. And Stephen Timms, the MP, says these figures weren't really challenged because they suited the government's agenda of creating a hostile environment for illegal immigrants. Now, it was only in 2016, 2 years after removals had started, that ETS began providing those with allegations against them with their test recordings. Now, often when you got your test recording, you found it didn't contain your voice, and that's what the article says. And that seemed to support the ETS case. But digital forensics expert Professor Peter Summer said, what seems to have happened is that the voice files became somehow separated from the individuals. And as the article goes on to say, however, it was impossible to verify the files were what ETS said they were, because they contain no electronic metadata showing when and where they were created. And any lawyers watching who've had experience of ETS cases will know this, that you get just sent some random MP4 files with no identifying data to show a sort of audit trail of that these were the files that ETS said they were. So it led to sort of significant errors in allegations against people. There's also evidence from a whistleblower, effectively somebody from one of the inspectors from the international arm of ETS Global BV. And they spoke to Richard Shuri, whose testimony has been used but never been spoken to the media before. And also, his account supported a statement made by his former boss, Ahmed Badour, who still works for ETS Global BV. And he gives his account of when he turned up to investigate at testing centers. But then he talks in this about this eyewitness account of remote testing, a method of faking tests which potentially further undermines the ETS voice recognition evidence. Inspectors believed that some test centers had remote access software that allowed test computers to be secretly controlled from other rooms. So Nick Armstrong, the barrister, says effectively it was simpler for the fraudsters to discard all the test entries from the particular exam hall, including those taken by genuine candidates, and just upload those from a secret room. So effectively then, when genuine candidates had their voice recordings scrutinized, they'd wrongly be branded cheats because they would be a different voice. And that was the explanation for the numbers being as high as they were. So they said these guys who worked for ETS that they went to a secret room where they saw people hunched over a computer controlling the test with what looked like remote testing software. And they saw people sitting at a computer not typing anything and words effectively appearing on the screen. The Home Office continued to rely on ETS evidence, despite the fact that in February last year, 2021, Priti Patel accepted that some innocent people had been wrongly accused, and she promised to look at solutions after the conclusion of a test case, but that judgment is still awaited, and the Home Office does not accept there are major flaws in ETS's evidence. So this article, which is going to be on Newsnight tonight on the 9th of February 2022, sort of is further evidence which undermines the Home Office position in ETS cases. It seems to further discredit ETS, but also show through this remote testing how innocent people were caught up, and even though they were picked up on the voice recognition as being there being a different voice, that was because this remote testing was being used, and genuine candidates wouldn't have been aware of it. So have a watch on BBC iPlayer of the Panorama. Sorry, it was Panorama who initially showed it, the Newsnight article on the basis of this. And we wait to see how this now affects the legal challenges that rumble on. But this may be useful in any ETS cases you have ongoing. I hope that's helpful.